In this video, I'm showing you this spectacular Lego skyscraper that I built on scale and standing an incredible 9 feet tall. That means it's built at a 1:60 scale, making the real-life version a whopping 300 feet tall. This has been my biggest project so far, so let's dive into how I built it. In my last update, I showed you the original black skyscraper, but I received a lot of comments about the incorrect proportions. So I decided to take the entire thing apart and rebuild it to scale. Even though I felt the original version fit nicely alongside the other buildings, building as realistically as possible is something I truly value. To achieve that, I had no choice but to rebuild and widen the entire structure, making it properly Lego minifigures scaled. Based on the dimensions I have in mind, this results in a 1:60 scale. I removed the previous build from its spot and got started with the windows. I ordered thousands of 1x1 transparent tiles and even visited my local Lego store to stock up on more. These transparent tiles just recently appeared on the Pick-a-Brick wall, which I think is an awesome addition to the lineup. I also filled several large cups with black and dark gray tiles, since those are the base for the transparent window tiles in this build. These 1x1 transparent tiles are perfect for filling the gaps between the stacked plates, which is why I ended up collecting a massive amount of them. It's such a satisfying feeling to see the final result of your haul after unpacking all those boxes. As you can see, the pile keeps getting bigger, and that's exactly what we need, since we're widening the building significantly and will need tons of new windows. I also had to purchase a huge number of black 2x2 bricks, which will form the pillars of the building. It's going to be over 9 feet tall, so you can imagine how many bricks I'll need after deciding to scale it up. You can now clearly see how I attach the tiles onto the black plates, and you can probably imagine how much work it takes to create all the windows using this technique. Still, it's more than worth the effort because it creates a unique effect I haven't seen other Lego builders use before. I had to make around 100 extra window sections for this expansion, which took me over 3 hours. Building at this scale with Lego isn't always fun. It can be really time-consuming, but in the end, the result pays off. In total, this build includes around 300 of these stacked plates and approximately 14,500 transparent tiles. To widen the building, I had to fully dismantle the entire structure, which took a lot of time and required extreme care to avoid it collapsing and forcing me to start from scratch. In the end, it didn't really matter since I ended up having to rebuild almost every part of the structure anyway. As you can see, the building has been expanded by 10 studs on each side, which might not seem like much at first glance, but it actually means a 50% increase in overall size compared to the original. I also redesigned the interior of the main lobby to make space for a service desk and a small restaurant where employees of this co-working space can grab lunch. I'm placing the elevator back in position, which connects to the upper office floors. Now that the first floor is complete, I can attach the roof and start installing the support pillars. Since the interior of this building isn't visible from the outside, it doesn't matter what colors I use to build these internal pillars. Luckily, I still had a bunch of white bricks from a long time ago, so I didn't have to use too many valuable parts to create this internal structure. That would have been a waste, as these pillars are purely functional and meant to hold the windows and stabilize the entire construction. The black pillars, however, are visible from the outside and are attached to the inner white ones to provide the strength the skyscraper needs. All elements are connected using large square gray plates, which allow me to stack the next level of the building securely. It's not easy to attach the pillars to the gray elements. You really have to make sure everything lines up perfectly, because even being one stud off can throw off the whole structure. Now that the first section is in place, we can start attaching the window panels. I do this using 2 connection points per panel, which ensures each one is firmly secured to the building. The skyscraper consists of 4 of these stacked sections, so you can imagine what a massive task it was to build this. I'd say it's the biggest project I've ever taken on, which makes sense since it's also the largest building I've made in terms of size and number of bricks. As I mentioned earlier, I used nearly 15,000 transparent 1x1 tiles, which significantly increases the total brick count compared to my other buildings. After hours of work, 3 full sections are now complete, and you can really start to see the massive scale of this design. It stands at around 9 feet tall, which makes finishing the top floors more and more challenging. Because of the weight, I decided to place the building in the city already and finish the final section in position. I installed the last windows and attached the roof to the top pillars. I had to use a platform to reach it properly, since the table itself is about 3 feet high. Now that it's in place, I fully realize how gigantic and impressive this skyscraper has become compared to everything else in the city. It's officially the tallest building in my Lego city, and because it's built to minifigure scale, it feels much more realistic. Can you imagine what it would be like for a Lego minifigure to stand at the base of this tower and look up? In my opinion, the height of this building truly matches what you'd expect from a structure that's around 300 feet tall. I honestly believe it holds up against the Lego skyscrapers you see on display at official Legoland parks, which means I've likely achieved my goal of building to scale. Even in relation to the old historic buildings on the right side of my city, the proportions feel spot on. These towers rise far above the rest of the city, exactly the look I wanted to achieve with this layout. I absolutely can't wait until this entire table is filled with skyscrapers. The view will be even more spectacular. There's still space for 6 more buildings, which means plenty of work ahead, and plenty of chances to design even more breathtaking towers. Personally, I'm not only happy with the scale of the building, but also with the black color I chose. It's something I hadn't used before, and it creates a really cool contrast against the blue, white, and gray tones of the surrounding structures. I definitely want to add more and more variety in the final buildings for this part of the city, and I already have several unique designs in mind, not just in color, but also in shape. The goal, of course, is to keep everything as realistic as possible. I'm happy I chose to build this one to scale, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think I succeeded? Should I rebuild the other skyscrapers to match this scale, or were their original dimensions fine? Let me know in the comments. And if you appreciate this massive project, don't forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe so more LEGO fans can get inspired to build to scale too. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming skyscrapers, and I'll see you in the next update.